Welcome back to VJ Tech Talks. So far we learned the basics of Python followed by data types and advanced data types collections. If you haven't watched my previous videos, I highly recommend check them out before continuing with this video. In today's video, we are going to learn how to define a function and how to pass values dynamically. You can use whether for calculations, concatenations, or any other mathematical operations. Let's start by defining a function. If you remember in the earlier Python videos, we defined a basic function. In a similar way, I will define another function here to add two numbers. This program, see, here is easy, right? See, if you look at here, x equal to 10, y equal to 20, just I'm adding two numbers with this function. Well, the expected result we got. But now, if you look at these two variables are fixed, right? The manually we are fixing the values to the variables, right? What if somebody asks you to add another two numbers? We have to modify these numbers, isn't it? We have to modify this number. Let's say if somebody asks you to add 30 plus 60, again you have to execute a program, right? This is not practically, it won't be possible, right? It won't be possible, isn't it? It's very difficult for you to manage these kind of things, right? To every time you're going back and forth, you're changing the values manually, it won't work, right? So then how basically the functions, like these kind of functions, how basically this will okay, let me do one thing. Instead of main, add, I can say. Here we can call add. Okay. So how can we pass the numbers dynamically now? We have a function called input. Let me show you. It's an inbuilt function we have. You can type any message. Enter a number or string. Okay, makes sense. So let me execute this one. What happened? So this is allowing you to enter number or string, right, from your keyboard. Let's say we say, see, it's able to print the, like how to print this value I can show you. Just print jet. Here Vijay, just try to understand what is the type of this input function, what sort of data type it is. It's string, which means input function takes input from user and always give the value as a string. Let me execute one more time. Now I will give 500, 5000. Let's print 5000. See here, the 5000 is a string. So the input function always takes the inputs from the users and always it returns the string value. That's how it is basically the input function. Okay, if I keep this input function in our program, this will gonna work. Let me try to add two numbers with the help of input function. We'll see how it's gonna work. A equal to input. Okay, b equals input. Okay, let's say print a plus b. Okay, first 10 and then 20. What is our expectation? Our expectation is 10 plus 20, 30. But here, if you look at here, is always, if you look at here, it's concatenating. Input function, it doesn't have a capability to do some mathematical operations. Then how you can do that? Okay, the string thing, it is perfect. If you want to concatenate these two strings, and easily we can concatenate it. But whereas in the mathematical operations, you need a special type of data types, right? You should specify that what sort of data type it is, isn't it? Like now, what I will do is I will try to convert the data types. Now this is string, right? You always, let's say if I use c equal to int, how to convert? just we are converting. Now int number and c plus d. So we'll see this way how this gonna work. Okay, let me execute this. 20 and 40, now 60. See, now let me try to print this. What type of values? See, here it is int print. Okay, if you look at, see, these two variables, like, now it's able to, you can able to give the dynamic values. Okay, what if I have a float numbers to add two float numbers, how we can do that? Now I'm able to do that. Like, okay, let me execute one more time this program. We'll see. Let me try like this. What's going to happen? This is the float number, all right? See, the first number itself is throwing an error because the type of this input, the type of value here it is expecting is int. Then how we can going to resolve this one? Now, then how to resolve this one? One way what we can do is, rather passing it as integer, just I will do float. Okay, let me write it down in the down. We'll copy this. I'll keep it here. Say x and y. Okay. Float number. Now let me try this one. 20.30. See, now it is allowing us to enter float numbers, right? Even in this case also, like say float numbers is now adding the float number here, right? What if the float number is perfect? What if integer? It works. Let me try integers. Even integer values also, but at the end of the input, right, you're getting is 90.0, right? So, but this case it is accepting the integer and as well as float value. What if in the Python also accept the complex number, right? Right? Complex number 1 plus 2j. It's a complex number, right? In Python program. What if somebody asks you to add complex numbers? May I try complex number here? Just let me try to complex number. I know that it will not make sense, but still. See, converting string to float, it's very difficult, right? Like I see, it is even this case also, it breaks. The program is not working. Okay, what I can do is, and the same program, I'll try to add here to handle the complex number. Let me give the complex number here. Okay, this case we'll see 1 plus some 2z, 4 plus 5z. Now, even this case we can able to add two complex number. What if I have only integers? Let me try 10, 20. Is it make sense? This will make sense for you. But even though it is allowing you to add integers, but see 30 plus oj, right? This will not make sense for us. Like we are expecting that 30 is the value, but here always it is coming it as a complex number. Okay, what happens if I am trying to add float numbers? See, even it works for the complex, float, and as well as for the integer numbers. As I said, this will not make sense, right? Like always we cannot write like this int, float, complex, sometimes maybe a string also. I will execute one more time here. If you look at here, 30 plus oj, right? So these kind of things like won't work in the real time, right? I need only 30, isn't it? So what we can do then, dynamically it should accept the values based on the type of value. It should convert the data type that it has to perform the mathematical operation for us. What you have to do is, you have an eval function. Eval is basically like, if you look at this eval is it can act, it accepts the values, and this will do the evaluation of the value. Based on that, it will returns the, I will write another program here. See, and x plus y. Now let me try this 10, 20, 30. Let me execute one more time this program. 30, 13, 40, 40. See, doesn't matter what type of value you're running. This I will try with the complex number also. We'll see. All possible cases, like so for all the data types, like integer, float, complex number. But adding a, as I said, adding a string, that will not make any sense. But still, we can try that string. But what? Let me try this one. See, the reason behind that, here already we have here while you're passing the string, it has to be like it should be within the small quotes. So now this will accept. See, here it is just concatenating the strings. Now let's modify our first program with the help of all these things. We'll make it dynamic here. As I said, I don't want to add a bit. I don't want to come here. I don't want to add here. If somebody asks you to add two numbers, you can ask them to give the numbers. Those two numbers, we'll pass it on the screen, and then it's going to work. Any number, right? So I will try to make it. This one a dynamic. Okay. Eval input, enter a number, or you can say a string. Here also eval number or string, second number, right? Now let me add here 20 and 30. Perfect, guys. Just I want my program to be executed when a condition is met. Okay, like this, 0 and 0. This will make sense. Okay, I don't want to perform these kind of calculations. If something, the number more than greater than 0, then I want to perform a addition. If I don't want to take the negative values to perform the addition. So those kind of scenarios, you want to check the certain conditions. Then if it is meeting your requirement, then you are going to perform a mathematical operations. You understand? So these kind of things, what we can say is control statements. We can learn these. We'll explore all these options, how we can define a if, how we can define a if else and else if, and what are the scenarios, possible scenarios in the real time, how basically this gonna help you in the real time. We'll discuss all this in the upcoming video. I hope you learned something from today's video. If you like this video, please don't forget to hit the bell icon for the latest update. Don't forget to subscribe, and please share this video with your friends and colleagues, and please do support me. See you in the next video. Until then, see you. Bye bye.